What you are listening to is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in the squared circle. Both parties have agreed to dismiss their cases and have their disputes settled here in our forum, the Turnbuckle Debate.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Turnbuckle Debate. My name is Sneed.
I'm Chad.
We're running a three-man crew today with our brother from the Pod Foundation, Mr. Seth Phelps. What's happening, man? How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's been too long. I think it was spring last time I was on debate, so it's been a while, man.
But it has been a while.
Yeah, always a good time getting back on here with the two bad Chads. And yeah, we're rolling three-man booth. It's like Nitro.
I know, man. I feel like Tom is afraid of Seth. It seems like he flakes a lot. I think the last time you and Jordan were on together and I was gone, I may have been, I can't remember why I was gone, but yeah, man, it's been a long time. Since you were last on, you and Jordan launched the Goalline podcast, an NFL-centric podcast under the Chick Foley banner, but it does have its own channel on Apple and Spotify. Go find the Goalline podcast, everybody. But tell us about the Goalline, Seth, and how you guys came up with it.
Yeah, so me and my best friend Jordan, he's on the Chick Foley Show with us also. Football is what brought us together. We were diehard Atlanta Falcons fans. That's how we originally met back in 2011 and just hit it off. We always talk football a ton anyways, man. Like we get on the phone and start talking football. Next thing you know, 40 minutes has gone by. So we figured, hey, let's make this a pod. We talked about it for a while. And then last year we got the invitation from the Tavern crew with, Pastor Hawk and J-Bone. We did the long balls with them. And we kind of just wanted to spin it off into our own little thing this season. So, got to give a lot of credit to you. You guys kind of gave us the nudge to really go ahead and do it. And it's been great, man. Appreciate all the support. If you guys go to just www.chickfoley.com, you can find all things there. The links to the Chick Foley Show for the wrestling fans and links to the Goal Line also. So that's the easiest way to find us.
Yeah, I find myself every Tuesday morning when I'm listening to the Goal Line, especially this last episode, Jordan really giving out a lot of Eagles love. And being the Cowboys fan that I am, I'm like, you son of a bitch. You need to give my team more credit. They're on a roll right now. They're going to beat the Eagles. They're going to beat the Eagles. I think
they beat them on Sunday. Yeah, Jordan's bad about it. He gets man crushers on teams, dude. If it's like the big burly teams, he loves them, dude. Like every year, whatever team is fitting that like profile. So it's the Eagles and the Browns this year, dude. That's the two teams he's just got a man crush on. Like I'll need to go back and do like another listen through of all the episodes, but it's very tough to find him say something negative about the Eagles or the Browns this year. It's just who he's got a fucking hard on for, dude.
I mean, I get it with the Browns. The Browns, like their defense, I'm a big fan of those guys, but the Eagles, they're like public enemy number one for me. They're in the East with my Cowboys. So I hate those. I hate them. They're so good though, but I think we're going to get them.
Hey, man, here's a fact that you can take back to the Goal Line if you want. Did you guys know that Brock Purdy was taken last in the draft?
I mentioned that to Jordan this week. We were talking about that Eagles and Niners game. At the end of it, I said the same thing. I said, did you know he was the last pick, man? It's just, I think we could retire that factoid, dude. Brock is so far past that, dude. I'm a big Brock Purdy fan also, man. I think the dude's killing it.
I can't believe he was Mr. Irrelevant, man.
Yeah, I was listening to the show from last week. I thought it was great. Yeah. You guys were watching along with the Jaguars and Bengals game, and the Bengals ended up coming back and taking it.
Yeah, that high ankle sprain, man.
Yeah, it's a nice setup, man. Just firing up. We literally that's when we start taping, dude. Halftime Monday Night Football is when we start recording. So you got a little something to keep the conversation flowing by having the game on in the background as we run through the format. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable. It's a lot easier to pod about football than it is about wrestling, man. Because football is much more just like objective, right? It's a game. Yep. There's a winner, there's a loser. Whereas wrestling, there's so many more layers to it. You got what happened on the screen, what happened behind the scenes, what it means for everybody. It's just, it feels breezy talking football compared to wrestling, even though wrestling is still number one in my heart.
Yeah. I hope you guys keep it going in the off season.
Yeah, I think we're going to do like bi-weekly, man. I think that's what because we've had, again, thanks for all of the listeners. If anybody's found found this episode as well. We really appreciate the support. To be honest, we've been a little bit surprised about the foothold we've been able to get. But the offseason, we're going to keep it going bi-weekly. We're going to do like a wrap-up of whatever NFL news has happened that last couple of weeks, and then just a little sprinkling of stuff happening in the rest of the sports world. So it'll be fun.
Awesome, man. Well, speaking of wrestling, we're here to do a little debating. I know you're no stranger to the debate, so if you guys want to get into it, man, we got 3 topics to debate.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. First topic of the evening. Does Britt Baker's disgruntled tweet hurt AEW wrestling?
Now, the big question I think here is this tweet, is she working or is she shooting, brother? You know, like, so I think regardless of if she's working or shooting, this better be working. You know, this better be a work tweet, because if it's not, and I do think it's a part of a bigger work, but I think it only hurts AEW if this is a shoot. I do think for now, the perception, regardless, fans are going to, you've been seeing it spring up where fans are, oh, she's unhappy with her promo time. Look at this. Look at this. But if it comes out as a part of a bigger storyline, that'll all go away. But you know how AEW's recent, news, not recent, I should say, but especially in the summertime, all the locker room turmoil, mainly with CM Punk and even Andrade and Sammy's little debacle and all of that, like things like this just keep that narrative going, especially with the casual fans. I feel like the diehard AEW fans that are just entrenched in it, we can kind of weed through all of this type of stuff. But if you're just a casual and you're seeing this pop up on, Ringside News, or some dirt sheet pops up in your X feed or your Instagram feed, you're not looking into the details of it. You're like, oh, another wrestler unhappy in AEW. I'm not surprised, but I think it's a work. I don't think it hurts unless this isn't part of a storyline.
Yeah, I think right now, I'm going to say that I think it hurts it just because of the timing of the tweet. And I think another thing that hurts it is the key word in the question, tweet, because it's getting put out there on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now, where there's such a toxic fan base that's going to take everything and break it down into whatever narrative that they want to make it. And I know the narrative right now towards AEW, because there's other people coming out and saying that they feel like shadows. I believe Jeff Hardy came out and said that he had an issue with how he was being used in AEW. But I think the timing of this tweet, whether it be a shoot or a work, it hurts on the timing right now.
Yeah, real quick, you brought it up. Jeff Hardy's full of shit, dude. Jeff, I love you, man. He's been a fan of yours for damn near 25 years at this point. You were poised to win the tag team championship, so you got another freaking DUI, bro. So you have nobody to blame but yourself, dude. If I was any kind of promoter, I would not put you in a major spot at all, because he just can't be trusted, man. The Britt thing, I don't think it hurts. I don't think it really hurts him, because I feel like it'll probably be forgotten in another week or so, but it definitely does feed that narrative that TK, the inmates running the asylum back there, and there's a lot of frustration. I saw a stat. I did it, fact check it, but I think she hasn't had a single in-ring promo in 2023, which is pretty crazy.
That is
I still
crazy.
think Britt's I don't think she's got a ton to complain about, because they've made her one of the 4 or 5 biggest stars in that company, but it has definitely been a quiet year for her. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's working or shooting. If it's a work, I don't really know what it's going to lead to, that's like, I told you guys before, man, I hate like the Russo era, like blurring the lines type stuff. Like when it works, that stuff's solid gold, but it can be really difficult to land that, man. What do you guys think of the rumor that she might be the devil? Because I think that could be pretty compelling if this is like the first seeds planted towards that.
Well, I don't think she's the devil, but I think she's a part of the devil's crew. That's where I think this is going. I heard a very compelling theory that my initial theory on the devil was that it's going to be Adam Cole. I've been saying that from the jump. And then it's going to be Roddy, Taven, Bennett, and a returning Kyle O'Reilly. That's who I thought his unit was going to be. But I saw a theory, and her tweet was kind of backed up by this. because there were several individuals that liked her tweet that are all not in the company right now. And it was all like her tweet was liked by Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara. So the theory is Jungle Boy, Wardlow, Sammy Guevara, and Britt Baker are all under Adam Cole as the devil.
That'd be cool. That's a nice faction.
I could dig that faction too, man.
Yeah, and there's story there with all of them. I definitely do not want the devil to be Jungle Boy. I just
dude, that last voiceover they did, it did sound like Jungle Boy. I don't know if it was just my mind. I don't know if it was my mind wanting me to hear things, or TK is just throwing some stray breadcrumbs out to get people going, because that'd been a rumor. But it definitely sounded like his like voice and cadence just through the distortion, man. So yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be cool, but I think Jungle Boy's in line for a push when he comes back. But I don't know. I feel like if it's like this, it's going to be like when Vince was the higher power, you know?
I know, man. You cannot. I think it's all a misdirect, and they're giving you a bunch of little misdirects. It's why I'm loving the storyline. Like, even when that video played where the devil laughed and everyone was saying it sounded like Jungle Boy, there was that clip that got passed around of right before the devil comes on the screen. Yeah. It looked like Adam Cole had a clicker in his pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, that's shit you can go back to and show. And Tony is kind of like, he gets lost in those little nuances, but I like those little nuances. So I'm all for that stuff. But yeah, that's why I think it's all part of a work. I think Britt has historically been very ride or die for AEW.
Yeah. She should be, man. They've been great to her, dude. Regardless of this last year has definitely been a down year for her, but yeah, they have treated her like as big as the biggest stars in the company from day one. One of the few successes of their women's division, I'd say.
That's why it feels so out of character for her to shoot a tweet off like this, especially when she was so hypercritical of people doing this exact same thing during the Punk thing, where I'm like, this doesn't seem like something she would do. I think it's tied into, I know she's been nursing a back injury. I know, Adam Cole's injury, if it's as bad as they say it is, I think she's just taking time off. I don't know. I'm just not buying that she's truly back there, like disgruntled with the company. I think this is all part of some bigger thing.
Everything we've seen of her, she's been like the picture of professionalism also. So yeah,
right,
you're right. She's not a carny. She's not like Miro or Andrade, who would be the type to fire off something like that. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think Adam Cole's injuries is as bad as what they're playing it up to be. And I honestly feel like that this tweet is a work. I really do.
And look who, you do kind of, when you're with someone a long time, as far as like a significant other, I feel like you kind of feed off of each other and you take the best qualities of each other and improve upon each other. Adam Cole is the last person to do a move like this. I just don't see her. Adam's always been the picture of professionalism with NXT. The way he left that company, it was all glowing. You've
never heard him say one bad word about WWE since he left. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm like, I don't see how she gets to this point. Not saying that, she's not her own person and she can't think for herself. It's just, I do feel like you see significant others kind of like, they're usually cut from the same cloth in a lot of the ways they operate.
If she is the devil, does that lessen the story for you? Or does
to me, if she ends up being the devil, I want Adam Cole to know nothing about it, dude. I want her to be like, she's trying to do something for him and he's not down with it. And then we get that story, dude. I think I don't know if I'm torn on this, dude. It's definitely been the most like compelling thing that AEW's had in a while. And I'm torn if I want some kind of crazy swerve or if I want just the what it looks like it's leading to with Adam Cole being the devil. But if she's the devil, I'd kind of like to see like Adam Cole stay by MJF's side, at least for a little bit, and see how it plays out. I think it'd be cool, man. I could buy her as the devil. I'd like to see mixing up the genders in the main event scene and stuff. I think it'd be pretty neat.
And I could see that. I could see Adam Cole being the devil and her being the devious whispering in the ear and being like
the Jezebel,
and really like building
Jezebel.
She could build up to be because to me, I think Toni Storm's gimmick is leading to her being the biggest baby face in the company. Fans are loving the gimmick.
It's over like Rover.
And you bring in a red hot, mean, devious, evil heel and Britt Baker to take on Toni Storm. That's money.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
I got before we move on, man, another note on Jungle Boy. TK has been so good about throwing out the money for the special entrance themes. He's got to have Justin Timberlake Cry Me a River for his song.
Oh,
he has to.
That would be gold, man. However he comes back, I want to see the blackout in the arena and then bam, hit
It'd be
Cry Me
so
a River.
good.
Dude.
God
Banger
damn,
of a song too, man.
I never thought about that. That would be great.
Because right now he's coming out to like Mozart or some shit, I think.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Shell out that money.
Oh, yeah. It's a subtle shot at Punk, too. I mean, why not?
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on Britt before we move on?
Looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. I think there's story here. I want to see how it unfolds.
Has there been any tweets since then? I don't think.
No, but she posted a clip, I believe, on her IG yesterday that was showing like her active, like past clips of her in the ring. So I'm like, something's not jiving here. So
yeah, interesting to see. All right. Yeah. Second topic of the evening. Who will be the breakout wrestler of 2024? Now, Seth, this was your topic, so I'll defer to you to go first on this one.
So I'll kick it off by giving my picks for 2023. I'd say for WWE, I think it's definitely LA Knight. That dude came on out of nowhere, dude, to be, one of the biggest deals in wrestling. I still think it's a little bit of like a meme, like when Rusev Day was over big, more than like, I think it's closer to that than like the Daniel Bryan Yes movement. But either way, he got himself over. And then for AEW, I think it was Swerve, man. I've been a big fan of Swerve for years, but he has leveled up like 3 times this last year. And I'm looking forward to a big 2024 for him.
Sure.
2 picks for this year. I don't know how much you guys have been watching NXT. I'm a huge fan of Tiffany Stratton. I think that, Jade's getting all the hype, but I think Tiffany Stratton's due for a main roster call up pretty soon. And her physique isn't that far behind Jade's. She came from the bodybuilding world also, but she can go in the ring. Like she's already very polished. She has some banger matches with Becky Lynch.
Yep.
So I'm looking for I think she's main roster ready and she's going to be a big deal when she gets there. For AEW, I think Nick Wayne, man. A big fan of Nick Wayne. We saw this dude wrestle at GCW Nashville last year at SummerSlam. So smooth, so polished in the ring. Like it's otherworldly how he's this good at this young of an age. I think he needs to hit up Bruv, hit up Will Ospreay, whatever bodybuilding, supplement, whatever Will Ospreay was on, that he packed on that 25 pounds of muscle to make him a legit main eventer. I think Nick Wayne needs that, which he's still young, so he's got time to bulk up. But if he does that, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I don't know how much longer he's going to be running in this patriarchy stable. I think that's a good way to introduce him to the fans, but you got to feel like at some point in the next 6-7 months, he turns on Christian and goes on a little bit of a babyface run. So I think Nick Wayne's really going to arrive on the world stage in a big way this year.
All right. Yeah. So 2 for me, breakout for 2024. I think if we're going male, female, I'm going to say Sky Blue. I think
they're heating her up for sure.
Yeah.
I think right now too, the women's division in AEW, I know it's just been in the absolute shit for a long time, but I really think they're heating that up as well. And I think they're just priming it up for a good 2024 in the women's division. We have Julia Hart. I think she may have been the breakout of 2023.
She's so improved, man. Like I remember she was like running around like with the Varsity Blondes. It's crazy that's the same wrestler. Like if I went in a coma for 3 years, you would not be able to convince me that's the same wrestler.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. She has come so far just from watching her as an 18-year-old cheerleader coming out. It's insane. Yeah. And then for the male, I'm going to say Daniel Garcia. And I know that it can be argued that he's already had a breakout, but I think right now with the end of 2023 and this tournament that they're doing right now, I think they're really going to take him very low. And then I think 2024, he's going to be a huge single star. And I would say that he'll hold some sort of gold in 2024.
I think you're onto something there. I think they're breaking him down with the losses.
Yeah.
Because something is on the horizon. Like I think they're going to use him being at the bottom to build him up big in 2024.
Ditch the dancing.
Yeah. For WWE in 2024, I think Grayson Waller starts to really show himself a little bit. I like that guy. I think he's got star power to him. I'm with you. Last year it was definitely LA Knight. For AEW, Seth, you said he broke out in 2023, and I do think he caught the attention of the fans. But I think 2024 is going to be the year of Swerve. I think he's going to be like, I've been calling. If you listen to the flagship, I've been calling that this guy is top tier main event material. I think his in-ring style to me is so all its own. It's so original, like down to the tiny little nuances, like the way he moves in the ring. Like it's this funky style that no one does. Like I love watching him wrestle. He's so original in the ring, but I really think like he's kind of shooting his shot and speaking it into existence when he says, I'm going to be the first Black AEW world champion. And I think he's going to be. I think him putting that out there is going to make it happen. I think Tony's hearing him. He's got 2 wins over Hangman going into the end of this year. I mean, that death match is arguably top 5 AEW match of all time. It's in the running
match
for
of the year by a mile, man. Yeah. I don't know what's competing with it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the emotion it drug out of me, but I think as much as he really arrived in 2023, I think he's still only scratching the surface. I could see if Adam Cole does end up to be the devil and Adam Cole is the person to take that title off of MJF, I think the first huge baby face he runs into that takes the title from him is going to be Swerve Strickland. I think a baby face Swerve with the dance with Prince Nana going against one of the most hated heels in the business. If he turns on MJF and Adam Cole, we haven't seen heel Adam Cole the right way in AEW. And if he turns on Max, the way they've built up that friendship, if he's the one to plunge the dagger in the back, fans are going to hate this guy.
Not as brochacho for life, man.
Yeah, brochacho for life. It's over. And then you throw Swerve with all the charisma. Man, this could be a tailor-made star-making moment where Swerve will always be in that upper echelon. He'll be going against the likes of Ospreay and Kenny and all of these guys. So I think 2024 is going to be the year of Swerve Strickland.
It was tough for me, man. I almost wanted to say Swerve, but I struggled going back and forth whether he broke out in 23 or will break out in 24 or go for it. It was hard for me to decide.
I mean, he broke out in 2023 for sure.
Yeah.
But still,
he's awesome, dude. He's got some of that 98 rock to him to where, like, dude, he's still a heel, but he's so good and so charismatic. He's like 2 degrees away from just being one of the top baby faces in the company. As a heel, like the fans pop when he comes out right now. So, yeah, I don't know how they get there. I mean, they could honestly just, I don't think they need to do a storyline. They could kind of just quietly drop some of the, more heelish aspects of his persona. And I agree, man. I think whoever ends up taking that belt off MJF, I think Swerve's going to be the guy to take the belt off them.
Yeah, I think it's queued up. It's ready. Who do you guys think like breakout tag teams of 2024? Because I think one of the underrated tag teams right now that it looks like they might be heating them up and they desperately need them to is the Creeds.
I was thinking the Creeds, man. They're good. It's just, dude, it's so hard for me to put any kind of stock whatsoever in the WWE tag team scene, because you can see a team have a good match 100%. And then you don't see them on TV they're wrestling on main event for 3 straight months. So they just honestly, I feel like if WWE had their way, they would just drop tag teams and just move on, just not make it part of the thing anymore.
I've always said I feel like WWE hates tag team wrestling.
I mean, Vince, if you listen to Bruce Pritchard, dude, he's broke it down. Like, Vince hated it because you're paying 4 guys when you could have 2 guys in the ring. You're paying 4 guys to take up that same amount of time that you could have 2 guys. That's why he's never liked it, which, you can't really argue the dollars and cents on that. I love tag team wrestling though, man. I think it's outstanding.
Breakout tag team of 2024, Outrunners.
I love the Outrunners, man.
I love the Outrunners, man. And I honestly believe that they'll get a push. I don't know how far they'll go, but I think Tony loves those guys.
Tony loves them. I mean, he put them in a match with Sting and Darby. Like, what more love can a up and coming team get?
They're such throwback characters too, man. They got they're the youngest men ever.
Yeah, they've been working too. They've been doing stuff in NWA, ROH, AEW. They've been very active. I think Matt Cardona, they use them a lot.
I'll say the boys, Dalton Castle's crew, just as a nod to Hawk. I know how much Hawk thinks Dalton Castle is just basically like 94 Bret the Hitman Hart, dude. So, yeah, I don't got a great answer, so I'll just show Hawk some love and say the boys.
Dude, I'll never forget the first time that Dalton Castle showed up on TV, and I knew that we were about to talk to Hawk about it. And I wasn't sure. I told Chad, I said, I don't know how he's going to like this. And Chad said, he'll love it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure as shit, man. He took the Dalton Castle, and that's his boy.
Oh, he loves Dalton Castle. Another person that I think could be getting a little more love, and they've kind of tipped their cap a little bit with this tournament, is I think Brody King could be getting.
I thought about him for breakout. Yeah,
that Bam Bam Bigelow Vader type of push, man.
He's awesome, dude.
I love Brody King. I think he's
Malachi with some size, and he don't got all the baggage. You know, if you listen, it seems like I think Malachi is another one of those guys who's kind of disgruntled backstage, man, for, you know, whether he's justified or not, dude. It seems like there's been a lot of rumblings around him backstage at AEW. Yeah, Brody King's awesome, man. Like I could totally see that. I gave some thought to him for sure. But he's had a ton of big matches already. I think House of Black's the best act in AEW, man. It blows my mind how they're not utilized more than they are. I just think the presentation, the in-ring, those guys are incredible.
It blows my mind that Malachi Black has not been in a main event spot. I mean, just look at the trios match they had against the Elite, and the moment him and Kenny Omega stared down in that match, the crowd was lit for it. That's all you know, that's one thing about Tony. It's like, sometimes, dude, like, are you being like Vince McMahon? Because that's one of those moments. If Pat Patterson and Vince saw that moment of Kenny and Malachi looking at each other, they're hearing dollar signs, like they're cha-ching, you know. You have to follow up on that. And I was really excited in that program because I thought that was a tease of things to come. Like, oh man, we're going to get a big program between these two factions. And then they went away from it. But man, that's I consistently hold out hope. Like, you got to put those guys in a main event. They should have a storyline like the Devil. They should have a storyline like the Patriarchy. That should be something that's happening in AEW, and they just haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, they've had a few kind of like low-level basic angles. For the most part, though, they've just been rolling those guys out for matches, man. It hasn't been any kind of real like in-depth main event level storylines, like you said. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think they're awesome, all three of them.
With the presentation of the group, I just wonder who it is. Like, what's going on? Like, is it Malachi? Like, is there something going on with him?
Malachi's been banged up a lot while he's been in AEW. Like, he's been nursing a shit ton of injuries. That's why they've been hiding him in tag matches. I saw a stat today on social media that said Malachi Black has not had a singles match in AEW since the summer of 2022.
Jeez.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think they said Punk left and came back, and then left and went to WWE before
right.
Which is fucking insane, man.
So who is the guy? And I know we're kind of talking breakout, but who's the guy in WWE right now that you could see making a big splash in the main event scene that maybe no one's thinking about? I know obviously we've got Roman, we've got Seth, Punk has entered the arena, we've got Cody, but who's the guy that maybe no one's thinking about that could work their way into that top tier?
So I know you mentioned him, man. Grayson Waller. It was in Uncle Dave, man, in the Observer newsletter today, said that he's got a lot of support backstage, and they're going to put some steam on him to try to kind of level him up before Mania. So he's one of the guys. Just hard to say, man. Like, dude, if you're a young wrestler, I think in spite of the dollars, I think you still want to go to AEW because it's got, like, just from the outside looking in, it seems like it's absolutely brutal to break in WWE and kind of like level up. You know, I mean, I saw that somebody posted in the Pod Foundation group chat the other day, like the poster for Raw in 2013, and it's basically all the same guys in 2023. Man, it's just the main event scene it's loaded right now, dude. Like they really kind of have the mid card's kind of weak. It's really all about that main event scene right now, and it's crowded, man. There's like you got like Randy Orton, you're going to find something to do for Mania. Obviously Roman, Cody's still there, but there's still a chance we have a returning Rock. So I think Grayson Waller could get in there. He can go in the ring. He can talk. Not on necessarily on the main roster. I think Brian Pillman Jr., Lexus King, they've put him right into that main event storyline on NXT with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, and he's done great so far. He's definitely looked the part. So I think he's going to continue to shine. But to be totally blunt, dude, I don't see a new main eventer happening in 2020. We may go the whole year without seeing somebody main event for the first time in WWE this year.
The only person, and I think he's already there, and I think the only person I could see kind of entering the main event scene from a heel perspective is maybe Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther's good.
But I don't know if he would hold gold. I think he would just be a big foil for one of the, like a Cody or someone with the title. Yeah. But yeah, I like seeing Brian Pillman get a push. It's just, dude, lay off the fucking beard being so just defined, man. It's driving me nuts. Like,
I can't stand a beard like that, man.
It's just too precise, too clean.
I think he needs to just run back his dad's look, dude. Like, who would argue that if he just ran back the loose cannon, dude? I know he's like saying he's going to be his own man, but we never got prime Brian Pillman, dude. Like, we never got it. So just let's take us back to the summer of '96 and just be the loose cannon, dude. I don't think anybody would complain.
I kind of thought that's what we were gonna get by the promos before he came in.
Yeah, and then they do the 180 on us.
I'm still having trouble with the name changes. It's like Braun Breaker, dude, you're a Steiner. Lexus King, dude, you're a Pillman.
For Braun, Rex Steiner which was the name he was going on in the Indies in Georgia for a little bit before he came in. That's a fucking money name. You could picture Rex Steiner versus Roman Reigns, Braun Breaker's that sounds like a C-list Marvel character.
Who last question within this topic from me. Is there a name outside of the two big companies, AEW and WWE, that you think could break big, whether it's someone in an Impact or something like that, or someone totally independent? Is there a wrestler you've got your eye on that you're like, man, they're on the come up?
Dude, I think one of these companies needs to just roll the dice, weather the early storm, because it's going to blow over within a couple of weeks. Dude, give Marty Scurll a chance, man. I think Marty Scurll is the most talented wrestler, not currently in New Japan, WWE, or AEW. We know all the controversy. No need to get in the details on that. I think you would have some people giving you shit about it for a couple weeks, and then it blows over. The first time he has a banger of a match or is involved in a really cool angle, I think it blows over. So I've been riding for Marty Scurll, since 2020 when all that shit went down, and I'll still, I'll stand by it, dude. If anybody wants to judge me for that, that's fine. But I think the dude has more than showed that he's like a good guy, like a nice guy and stuff. And like, let's give him another chance, man.
Yeah, I'm all about second chances. I'm with you, man. I would love to see the villain show up in TNA Impact.
Yeah,
I think he's an instant main event guy in that company. And I think the blowback in that company would be a lot less than if you went to the two majors. Because the two majors, the fan bases, the hardcore fan bases of WWE and AEW, they don't even have to really be passionate about the opinion, but if there's any shred of something that you can attack that company for doing,
you're going to latch on.
You're going to latch on to it, and it's going to blow up the situation more. If he would go to TNA, I don't think there would be much.
It'd be muted
blowback.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see Second Gear Crew.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mance Warner, Matt Justice,
and yeah.
Old Manders. I think Richard Holiday, former member of Dynasty with Alex Hammerstone and MJF, he's been doing a lot of stuff on the indies. He's just shot a big angle on GCW with Alex Hammerstone and Charles Mason. He battled cancer, in 2023, he came back from his cancer diagnosis, looked like $1 million. I think that's a guy that, a TNA would be lucky to have. I think he even gets on the radar of AEW because MJF is saying his praises. He's a similar heel cut from the same cloth as MJF. So I really have my eyes on Richard Holiday, the AirPod god.
I'll tell you somebody else we haven't mentioned that's probably a guarantee for getting a shot on the big stage. Jacob Fatu, man.
Yeah.
I think if I'm Cody Rhodes, I'm finding a way to get in with the TSA, and I'm putting him on like the do not fly list across every airline, like the first week of April, dude. Keep that motherfucker outside of Lincoln Financial Field, dude.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
you know
true.
something's gonna happen, dude. I still stand by it. I've been saying it on our show. I'll publicly state it on here too, so you guys got it on December 6th. Roman's gonna win again at WrestleMania, man. Roman is gonna beat Cody again. And it's Jey Uso is going to screw him over, dude. I think we're going to see Jey Uso. He's had the bromance with Cody. I think he's going to begrudgingly do it, but he's going to say, I had to put the family first, man, like Drake said, and he helps Roman beat Cody, and we keep it rolling. The show goes on, dude. One more year.
At this point, I want that to happen just to see the absolute meltdown.
Oh my God.
Like I want to see. I'm not even the biggest Roman Reigns fan. But I would love to just keep it on him. Have him break Bruno's record, man.
You've already come this far, dude. Yeah, you're already over halfway there, man. Like keep it going. You're probably never going to have a chance to break that record again. So if they want to get Bruno out of there, you got to do it.
He wrestles 3 times a year, man. Just keep it on him.
Yeah, dude. It's you got the other championship now with Seth that you can have carrying the month-to-month storylines. I definitely, I'll go on record. You guys know how much I love Roman. He's my second favorite besides Seth Rollins in the modern era. But I think the Bloodline storyline definitely jumped the shark when Jimmy helped Roman beat Jey at SummerSlam. I thought they should have just had, if they want to keep it on Roman, just let Roman beat Jey clean, dude. I think Jey would have still leveled up if he, took Roman to the limit and lost. I don't think he would have, but it still was like nonsensical that Jimmy, broke basically was like the spark to break up the Bloodline, and then he comes right back to him. So yeah, I don't know if they probably don't have enough creative writing to keep this thing going a whole nother year, but I don't know, man. I just got a funny feeling, dude. Roman's going to keep on rolling, dude. I think as long as business is good, why change it?
I know. And if they bring Jacob in there, it adds, and I know like people that aren't familiar with him is like, oh, you're just going to bring in another guy. You got Solo.
He's good though, man. He's got his own flavor.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu is the Samoan werewolf. I'm a big fan of him. I love Jacob Fatu. One of the like most real, he's got that Eddie Kingston quality.
Yeah, that authenticity, man.
Authenticity. You buy that he's a bona fide badass. I would love to see Jacob Fatu mixing it up.
So yeah, if I'm Cody, like I said, I'm getting him on all do not fly lists. I'm putting fucking bounty hunters on Jacob Fatu. Keep him out of that stadium on night 2 of WrestleMania this year.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on Breakout Stars before we move on?
I think it's going to be a good 2024, man. I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Yep. All right. Final topic of the evening. Was it the right move to cut Flair's offensive promo line from Rampage? So Flair, it was a pre-tape promo where he mentioned 18 to 28 years old, no husbands, no boyfriends, meet us at the hotel.
I mean, it probably was the right move, right? Like, because I mean, you're going to entertain like the hardcore fans like us, but at the risk of, pissing off sponsors or whatever. So I think it was the right move from a business standpoint. As a wrestling fan, dude, that's what we want from Ric Flair. We want him popping off at the mouth, saying crazy shit, dude. Like, so yeah, I don't like it, but if you're asking, was it the right move? I'd say, yeah, the juice probably wasn't worth the squeeze to air that promo unedited.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think it was the right move. Just because like you have other people that are out there saying things that I believe are a lot worse when you have MJF talking about banging rats.
Yeah.
Right. Like
MJF's not a real life, sex offender though, dude. Flair, I don't know. I don't think I consider Flair a sex offender, but he's got some dirt on his name,
The plane ride from hell.
Yeah, the helicopter.
It's the dark side of the ring shit. Like before that episode, everyone looked at him as like the
dirty uncle.
Yeah, the dirty uncle.
But this is a gimmick that he's been doing for a year before we
I
were.
Agree. Yeah, he was in character when he said
that, and it's that exact line. It's not like he made a line up. Like that's the exact line that he used, 18 to 28. And I just don't feel like that was offensive. I don't feel like it was.
I wasn't offended by it, man. I didn't think it was that bad, but obviously, it got people's panties in a bunch online before it even made TV.
Yeah, I'm about to get some people's panties in a bunch right now because I don't think sponsors would have batted an eye at this. I really don't. I think it would have been, oh, it's Ric Flair. It's what he does. Back in the 80s when he would make lines like this, they would cut to the crowd and there would be women swooning in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't think this was to protect the sponsors from getting upset. I think this was to protect all the pussy ass bitch fans out there that want to cry over every little thing. We're offended. It offends me. Grow some nuts, dude. Like, wear a helmet. Life is hard. Bad things happen. You watch one documentary from Dark Side of the Ring and you think you've got this guy's whole life cornered. Like, obviously, when you have people like Kevin Nash and all the wrestlers that came out and said, hey, Rick, keep doing your thing. Do you. Those people know him better than some filmmakers who did a really good edit on a job that looked like a hit piece. I mean, everybody that was a part of that thing came out and said that was not how it was like portrayed in the way they interviewed, the way they cut back and forth in that thing. Maybe Rick was a man of his time and did some foul shit. So be it. Whatever. It's just the fact that I think most wrestling fans don't feel this way. I think there's this vocal minority of fans on 100%. Social media.
Just fucking woke mob.
It's the woke cancel culture, baby ass pussies of pro wrestling that get so bent out of shape and uptight, and they think that their feelings should be protected and anything that steps on them and offends them shouldn't be allowed. When I don't agree with that, dude. Like, you know how much stuff I don't like that I consume, whether it's through news, movies, TV. Do I get on social media and try and start a petition? No, I just don't watch it. I don't support it. Like, there's other ways than trying to start like these guy's career type of movements. It's sickening. It's everything I hate about not just wrestling, but just culture in general, how everyone wants to go after people. It makes me sick. Like, people just need to grow some thick skin. Like, if this is what you want to hitch your wagon to and fight for, it's like, dude, there are so many things in this world that need people's attention to enact true change and make a better world, whether it's education, like all the bad things in the world that we should be focusing on. And this is the thing that you think you're accomplishing something by getting this, let's be honest, a pretty tame line. I mean, that was a very tame line.
You can see way worse stuff on FX and Night of the Week, man.
Exactly. Like, it got me so red hot. And the thing that makes me mad about it is, like, Tony Khan, man, grow some balls and stop just tiptoeing. Like, he's always presented himself though as like, we're the good guys over here. You know, you see it with like the Owen Hart stuff and everything, man. I think, and that was the big thing where people were criticized when they brought in Flair, because he was so vocal going at Vince when Vince was having his whole, NDA scandal and stuff, man. And I think Tony just caved on this one. Yeah, he did. It's like, backbone. And now if it was some truly offensive thing, like truly like someone, I don't even know what example I could give. I would back it, but I think this is such just a chicken shit, bottom of the barrel, blink and you miss it type of thing. Like,
it would have blown over by, if this came on Friday night, it blows over by midday Saturday, man. It's
honestly
Rampage.
No one would have probably talked about it. You would have had a few people bitching on X about it, but it would not have been this big to do. It became a big to do when Rick fucked up making that Instagram post. When he made that Instagram post, that's when it became a thing. I feel like it wouldn't have done anything.
Dude, the biggest question I have from this whole thing, why did Ric Flair write a whole paragraph with the first letter of every single word capitalized, man?
He does it every single time, dude. That's how he types.
That seems like the most pain in the ass way to type. I could see all caps. I could see all lowercase, but dude, it's tedious capitalizing the first letter of every single word. Like, what is going on?
You can tell when Flair does a sponsored post versus him typing out a post.
Yeah.
Because
it's team posting. Yeah. I saw that. I was like, what is going on here, man?
Yeah, we have a friend who he will choose certain words to put in all caps, and it never makes sense why they're in all caps to me. And I'm like, why'd you choose that word? It reminded me of that. Like, dude, I'm with Seth. Like, it's hard to, it takes a lot of effort to hit that caps button every single word, man.
Space, caps button, type another word. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man.
That's rougher than the promo.
Yeah. Snee, what when you saw this, what was your gut reaction?
I think a term that we use, which I'll bring in here, is BRM.
Red mad.
Which makes me blood red mad, because it just infuriates me that and a double standard also, because 18 to 28, like, I get it, he's 70 some years old or whatever, but
that's the joke of it. The dude,
it's over the top, dude. He's playing a character.
And it's not like anything was illegal. 18 to 28. And it's such a double standard too, because when you think about the Twilight movies back in whatever, and you had the moms that were outside picking teams for the teen boys that were in the movie, like, that's pretty sick too. Like, if you're gonna, like, it's a double standard thing.
Right? Like, I mean, come on.
Right. So the fact that they picked this to be outraged over, I hate a cancel culture anyway. I hate the woke mob. I hate all that bullshit. It just, nothing makes me more mad than when you try to get somebody canceled. If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it.
Well, it's the same. There was somebody jumped in like a comment section, and I saw them like say, well, what about all the people that have been abused? And, it's like, really, that's where your mind goes? Like, are you the same person?
What is that?
You go into a comedy club and they make a joke about something, and it's so offensive to you that it's like, dude,
know what you're watching, man.
And life is, I just want to grab those people and be like, God bless your soul, man, because life is going to be very hard on you. If you get that upset, if a promo from a 70-year-old man saying some ridiculous thing about 18 to 28-year-old girls meeting him at the hotel, if that's what sets you off, strap in for a long, hard life, because life is hard.
He didn't even tell him where to meet. He said, I can't tell you where to meet because those days are over.
It was just so over the top. I mean,
it was goofy, man. Silly. Yeah, it was shtick.
Who started this? Who started the? We
need to go find the originator of this whole.
Was it somebody that was there that reported on it, or was it?
It had to have been, man, because they would have had to have video seen it in stadiums. Yeah, somebody in the building.
Yeah, they do.
Something more fun, man. I know we've been kicking around the idea of heading to Greensboro for Sting's last match. How disappointed are you guys going to be if Ric Flair doesn't at least attempt to double cross Sting in that match? Like, it's got to happen, dude.
That would be awesome.
I'd love it if the Horsemen came back to screw Sting one more time.
Oh, that'd be beautiful, dude.
Arn, Rick, Tully,
Barry. That'd be
phenomenal.
What a way to go out. I think it'll happen though. I mean, I think Rick's going to double cross him anyway, but
he's got to, dude. Yeah. Think of all the times over the years, every time Ric Flair trusts Sting, he always gets fucked over, man. So it's got to happen.
It's such an iconic, it's one of the more perfect full circle moments in wrestling, because obviously they had the legendary match 1988 at Greensboro Coliseum that kind of made Sting.
But there was Clash of the Champions, right?
Yeah. There was also
that's the one they went up against Mania, right?
I believe so.
Mania 4, and they did the 60-minute Broadway.
Yeah, I believe so. But they also wrestled their last match together on the last episode of
Nitro.
Flair wasn't even in shape. He wore a t-shirt during that match, which is insane. So like they're so tied at the hip that it just feels right. And I think that's why it's kind of lit my ass on fire a little more than usual, because it seems to me like there's a sect of fans out there that knowingly or unknowingly are trying to sabotage Ric Flair being a part of this run. It's like, if you want to go after Rick, if Rick was a solo act, fine, but Sting is a class act all around. You couldn't find dirt on that guy if you tried. And essentially, Flair is there on Sting's wishes. Like Sting wants him to be a part of this final run, and for fans to throw backlash at Flair being a part of this, essentially, like the goal to me is they were wanting him to get shit canned from AEW.
Yeah. I think what made me like, don't you fucking ruin this for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't you fucking ruin Ric Flair being here for this last run with Sting. I love it, so don't ruin it.
Dude, I think TK just needs to grow a dick, man. You saw he doubled down on it he went out of his way to tweet that, like, oh, well, we're not paying Ric Flair. You know, this is a promotional deal with Woo Energy or whatever, dude. Like he's already backpedaling, trying to distance himself from this, man.
Yeah, it's such bullshit, man. Grow a pair. Like seriously, stand by the sect of fans that you're going to piss off. I don't think are worth worrying about. I really don't. I don't think they're going to make or break your success. I truly don't.
Yeah. Especially when you know AEW's catering to the hardcores, man. Like it is. It's just I think the AEW fans, we're the people that, dude, we eat this shit up, dude. And we're not going to turn on this legend off of one line on a meaningless promo.
Right.
Honestly, most of us would have just reveled in it and just moved on. Nobody would have even said anything. So,
yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on Flair before we move on to our round robin?
Keep Flair rolling, baby.
He better be there. He better be.
No hair, no Flair.
Yeah.
That's offensive, Seth. All right. Let's move on to the round robin.
Round robin.
Bigger Mania match for CM Punk's career. Roman Reigns, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going Stone Cold. I'm going Stone Cold. Just because I don't think that Reigns Punk. I don't think Punk's I think he's taking an L anyway. That's a
SummerSlam match, dude. That's a SummerSlam main event, man. Yeah, he needs Austin. He'll be just another guy that Roman smashed and stacked, man. I think that it'd be compelling. I think the build would be cool, but the match would be whatever. But Steve Austin's wrestled one match since 2003 against Kevin Owens, and I think they'd be able to do something fun. So, again, Uncle Dave said that the idea has been brought up, man. That would be cool if instead of CM Punk Seth, we get Austin coming back for one last match. It's in Philly, so you could just do a straight up Extreme Rules, just kitchen sink match, a bunch of weapons and shit to kind of blow past Steve Austin's age. But he looked fine that match against KO, man. Obviously he wasn't at his peak, but he was totally serviceable, man. It was
a fun match.
Yeah, it didn't look like it didn't look like Ric Flair's last match or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. So I think Austin all the way, man. That'd be much more special.
I think if Punk was 10 years younger, I would say Roman Reigns. Like if he had more ahead of him than behind him, I would say Roman was the bigger match for him. But at the stage of his career, Punk's a big icon within the sport. This match has been teased. I think there was like a video game interview that
WWE 2K13. Yeah, they had a panel with those two, and they were basically cutting promos on each other.
It was awesome.
Talking shit. Yeah,
it was
cool.
awesome. And 100%, you throw a WrestleMania 40 poster with these two staring each other down on it, and all you need to give me is one vignette promo, just like with Kevin Owens. You got the fucking drone flying through the desert, fucking Stone Cold's terrassing on some side-by-side, gets out, cuts a promo on Punk, and then you get Punk a reaction. Man, I've got goosebumps right now. I like Punk. I hate what he's done to wrestling recently, but I'm an unabashed Steve Austin fan all the way back to the Stunning Steve days. So to see these two legends square off, man, I don't think you could argue. It is by far, and it is a Mania match.
Yeah.
You can't do that anywhere else but the grandest stage of them all. So yeah, you got to do Punk Stone Cold.
All right, guys. Well, Seth, it's been great having you back on.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, the Goalline, Chick Foley, everything you guys got going on.
Just go www.chickfoley.com. We got all the links set up right there. So that's the easiest way to track down all the various, initiatives we got going. So yeah, hit that up. And thanks everybody for all the support and for all the support for all of the shows under the Pod Foundation banner.
Awesome.
Yeah, go give them a follow, guys. Great stuff over there.
Sweet. Seth, always great having you on, man. We got to get you on sooner.
Yep, definitely.
All right. That is going to wrap us up for this edition of the Turnbuckle Debate. Make sure you guys are heading over to theturnbuckletavern.com for all of your tavern needs. Chad, I'm going to defer to you here, man. Tom's not here to get his shit in. Get your shit in.
Go if you're a movie fan, go find the Broken VCR. Me and Hawk do a movie podcast every Tuesday on Apple and Spotify. Just search Broken VCR and you'll find us.
And if you need more Hawk in your life, get it. All right. With all that being said, court is dismissed.